Hey guys, welcome to today's podcast. Today's Kuro and me, and today we're going to be talking about Nintendo news, gaming news, a game review of a game we just played, Pokemon Sword, and about a game that we're currently playing, The Escapist 2. So, Nintendo news, hit it.
Oh, there's a lot. Where do I even begin? So, let's go over the most recent thing. The new Tomodachi Life Nintendo Direct has just dropped. Have you seen it?
I have seen it indeed.
Okay. What an interesting Direct. It was 20 minutes long. That's quite unusual for a game Direct. And I don't know what you think about this, but I think it was a little bit drawn out.
What do you mean by drawn out? Specify on that.
I think they could have shown us the game in like 10 minutes.
To be fair, yeah, no, I agree. I feel like they just re-said the things they were already meant to say about the game, and just kept doing that.
It does look nice, and it's a Switch 1 game, so it can be enjoyed by everybody. It's clearly targeted at children.
Yeah.
I did like the Ferris wheel scene where they had like
like everyone go to see the clown, yeah.
But it's definitely this just feels like the last Switch 1 game they're just trying to force out before we can move entirely to the Switch 2.
But then again, we've got to realise that it is going to be a kids' game. Do you know what I'm saying? It kind of has to be, a Switch 1 game too, because some kids just don't have a Switch 2 yet. Do you know what I mean?
It's an interesting landscape we're in because I feel like this game screams Nintendo understanding that they are now a more premium device. Switch 1 Lite you could get for 190 quid. Now their cheapest option is 395. So they're holding on to the Switch 1, and this just feels like you can sense the cost of living crisis.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be like Animal Crossing, where it blew up because of COVID. I don't know, but I think it almost is a little bit late. This game should have come out a few years ago.
But I think it's okay. I think it's a really good slice of life game, I think, that a lot of kids, especially a lot of kids will enjoy. I think a lot of kids will have fun playing this game, just adding their friends into it, going online and just enjoying themselves having it.
To be fair, we should give it a go.
I think we should.
See what happens.
Potential game review, especially when we play it.
It's interesting because the customization, is there going to be an online shareable customization like Animal Crossing? If you just design people's faces and your pets, that could be quite dangerous.
And the map too. You can have customizable walls, islands, everything. That could be dangerous to kids.
It sounds fun, but we know what people are like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Nintendo Ninjas are going to be out there big time, cutting down a lot of things like they do on Mario Maker and Animal Crossing. But even more important news, at least for me.
Yeah, hit it.
Super Mario Galaxy movie coming out in April as well.
In April, so close.
April's a big month for Nintendo.
Why is that?
Tomodachi Life and the movie and it's their financials. Crazy month. But the biggest piece of news from the Mario Galaxy movie, Yoshi's voice.
Cute.
It's controversial online.
Why is it controversial?
Because it's 2026 and everything has to be controversial.
Come on, let's be real. That is how the world is right now.
I think the movie looks good. I'm questioning why they're using so many Odyssey locations.
Yeah, I didn't really get that. The upside pyramids and stuff like that.
It's cool. I love Odyssey, but surely they'd want to make an Odyssey movie rather than wasting Galaxy on both games, because Galaxy is 2 games already. And also, where's Sunshine?
You are a big Sunshine fan, aren't you?
Where is Sunshine?
It doesn't receive the love it deserves.
Flood to get that'd be so cool. But I did really like the trailer. Some clips will be showing up right now. This will be so with Luigi saying I'm not afraid, and then I'm like, I haven't changed.
Yeah.
And throwing the fireballs.
But it's good to see that we can see the other Super Mario powers, so him with the fireball abilities, stuff like that. That's gonna be quite cool. And then obviously all the new characters are going to add, which obviously Mario Galaxy characters as well. So that's also good to see as usual. And also, it's a Super Mario movie. Who doesn't like Super Mario movies? Come on, the first one was a hit. We can all agree it cooked.
Sonic fans are probably quite angry.
Yeah, but that's angry at everything.
There's stuff with some mid
trilogy that no one likes.
Okay, next final piece of Nintendo news,
which is
quite dry at the moment. So there are 2 unreleased Virtual Boy games being released for the first time on the console. How interesting is that? To it's a full RPG game that's in virtual reality from the 80s or early 90s that no one's ever played, and it's just coming out for Switch Online.
Why didn't they release it?
Oh, the Virtual Boy was such a big failure.
That is just like, even though we have the full game, just no point
they
even...
just stopped making it.
Oh, damn, that's really
So there's
unfortunate.
2 games, and imagine like the other consoles out there that have unreleased games. There's no way the GameCube doesn't have any games that just didn't get finished.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think probably a lot of other consoles, like the Wii or something, and the Wii U, because the Wii U didn't go as far as it should have.
And even the released Wii U games were re-released on the Switch. Because...
It just failed.
Although, I'm still waiting for Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD to move over from the GameCube because it is taking too long.
I do kind of want to play the games for us, so...
Every time I see it Twitch Online, it started off as such like a silly service that didn't have any value, but now it has so much value. I actually think, looking at how expensive Game Pass is, it's actually the most valuable service at the moment.
100%. The Switch Online is one of the best things ever.
PlayStation and Xbox offer more, but the Switch Online is like less than half of the price, and you get online play on hundreds and hundreds of old games.
Which, since like you couldn't do that beforehand, do you know what I'm saying? Those games are only playable now online.
Like GoldenEye online.
Yeah. It's so good.
Well, Mario Strikers, I'm not sure.
It's only because you lose to me all the time when we play it.
I
But
don't know.
it's
I don't know.
It's just a story. It's a different
Anyway,
story.
throw me some gaming news.
Gaming news. Recent gaming news. So there's 2 major topics I want to talk about. So the first one is a big lawsuit to Valve Corporation, the people who own Steam, and it's a big lawsuit of £656 million because apparently the government thinks that there's unfair prices and it just runs a monopoly in the global online store. What's your thoughts on that?
I have complicated thoughts on this.
Ooh, hit me with them.
I think every gaming company has a monopoly. I think the fact there's only one store on every gaming company, or one primary store, is in itself a problem. I don't know why they're going after Steam when there's also Epic Games and other competition, when they should be going after Sony, Xbox and Nintendo for not allowing other stores on their platform. I think Steam's like the least of their concern. But I do understand the idea of gaming companies have gotten away with this for too long.
See, my take on this is that like they're trying to say that Steam uses puts unfair market pricing or like that into the store because they know no one else can compete. Currently, Steam is the most used gaming platform in regards to especially PC gaming.
Yeah.
And people literally would rather pay a game on Steam than get the free version on Epic Games.
It's because of the services. It's got a blog on it. It has a whole integrated system. You have your chats. You have your save data. Everything is just there and convenient.
And it has one of the best supports. I mean, one of the best customer supports out of every other thing.
So the refunds I've got through Steam just because I didn't like a game.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it literally, like, they're there to help you. And I think that this lawsuit is a bit silly, in my opinion. I think there's really no point to kind of push this, like, section in terms of, like, oh, they have a monopoly. When really it's just because they're so good that no one else can compete.
I agree with you. I think Steam isn't the one you should be going after. There's many other companies that actually
100%.
do have a monopoly.
100%.
But I do understand the sentiment of a monopolised market. But I don't think Steam is the issue. I think Xbox, Nintendo and Sony are the issue for locking their games behind platforms.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree on that. The next section here is a really funny one. The creators of GTA and the people who run Rockstar Gaming were caught in the Epstein files. Yep, when they released those 3 million pages of the Epstein files, the creators of GTA have been caught on it.
So I thought you were going to mention the fire burning down the workplace in Scotland. They're really trying everything they can not to release the game.
To just not release GTA 6, man. Let's be
What
real.
do you mean they're in the Epstein files? Like, just in it?
They're in the Epstein files, so...
Why has this not been, like, mainstream?
To be fair, man, I've seen, like, a bunch of news about it, but not that much coverage on it, which is crazy to think, because, like, you would assume such a big gaming, like, company would be featured in so many things, but no one talks about
Let me get this straight. Nintendo releases a game for $80 instead of $70, and it makes worldwide headlines. But GTA 6 developers are in the Epstein files for being not
just the
very
developers,
good.
the creators of GTA 6, like the developers, but also the people who run the entire company.
I stand by
Until
the
this
fact that Nintendo gets overly hated,
Oh, I agree.
and that every other company is not held to the same standard.
I agree. I completely agree.
Why is this allowed? What?
I don't know. These Epstein files are going crazy, and they're like one of the only gaming people who are in the Epstein files, which I think is insane, and no one's covering it. I don't know why it's not such a big major gaming news at the moment that they're in the Epstein files.
I mean, I'll put some articles on the front so you can have a look for yourself and look in the description for some links, but this is massive, and this should have been explored months ago.
Oh, yeah.
See, this video is going to get taken down now by Rockstar.
No, but already.
If you're watching this video, share it now before it gets taken down.
Yeah,
this isn't going to last very long. But are we blowing this open?
I think we are.
Should we do some investigative work?
I think we should. Anyways, next sector of this, game review, Pokemon Sword. So recently, me and Kuro thought it was a good idea to hop on Pokemon Sword again. He was dissing on it, you know what I'm saying? It's one of my favorite Pokemon games. And he thought it was a bad idea to try it. And I was like, no, let's do it. Come on, let's get DLCs running as well. So we got the games, we got the DLC, and we played it. What is your thoughts? Out of 10 right now, give me full opinion of the game, and what's your opinion on everything of the game? DLCs, wild areas, gyms, trainers, everything through the game. Hit me with it.
So when I first played the game, I thought it was okay.
Okay.
It was kind of furthering my opinion of Pokemon, so I was aging out of it a little bit. Sun and Moon came out, I didn't enjoy it as much as X and Y or Omega Ruby. Ultra Sun and Moon came out, I was a bit like, this isn't for me. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee came out, and I was like, okay, this is like, I enjoy Let's Go, but I'm finding it, no, I'm not a hardcore fan. Sword and Shield, whilst I enjoyed it, didn't fix that problem. It was like, it was just good enough. Replaying it and having a reflection of what Scarlet and Violet is, and Legends Arceus and ZA, I can see and I can appreciate the fact they're pushing more open. So you have the wild area and the 2 DLC areas. I appreciate what they're pushing for, but it's not fully realised yet. So I do appreciate the game now more on reflection, because I can see how they're trying to make a less linear game, but it just doesn't feel right. Like, it's too conflicting. You have these massive open areas, but there's Pokemon in them you can't catch yet. So it's like, why would I explore it? And in the gyms and the routes are the most linear routes in the entire series. But then you go to the DLC and it's wide open and it's amazing. So my honest opinion is the story is lacking. But the DLCs show what the game could have been. And the game has gone up in my expectations, because even the linear routes are quite interesting. So I think the game gets better as you go along. So at the early game, visually it's nice. It's quite interesting, actually. I think the game gets visually worse as you go along. But the gameplay gets better.
Yeah.
So I think the first town and Hammerlock are way more interesting than Wyndon as an appearance. But then it's the most fun stuff to do in Wyndon.
Yeah.
And I think the wild area is quite dull and boring. But you look at the DLC and it's so beautiful, and obviously it's not great, it's Pokemon in terms of graphics, but I feel like the game is so hard to put a number on, because you have this 10 out of 10 exploration against a 2 out of 10 story. You have 8 out of 10 graphics in the routes compared to 4 out of 10 graphics in the wild area. I think the game's just unfinished, but overall, massively gone up in my expectations.
Yay!
And I do quite like the starters now.
Okay.
Aside from Sobble.
Okay, so what's your thoughts on Thwacky? Because you used to hate Thwacky.
I don't like Thwacky. But I like Rillaboom and I like Grookey.
Do you like the Skull Bunny as well?
I love Skull Bunny.
Do you like that entire line of Cinderace?
Yeah.
Yes, and Rillaboom. Yes, I'll take that.
Also, the game's too easy.
That is such a big problem with it. I feel the game is extremely easy. The fact that you can just go into Dynamax Dens and just get EXP Candy and just farm your entire team up. Like, that is quite silly, I can't lie. I have some takes on the fact that you think the story's bad. I think the story's quite decent. I don't think it's one of the best that they've put up, and not even, I don't even think it's top 3.
I agree.
But I think that the story does have development, and even though the main characters like don't really portray that much, like I don't really get the whole like Hop storyline. Like, I get it, but I don't. It's kind of boring. The whole with Rose and like him trying to like bring back the Doomsday Day. Like,
there's not much else in the story.
You gotta realize the DLC is also part of the game. And I think that's what puts it up there.
Yeah. So
And like the DLC storylines are quite decent. Except I think I really like the cut through one. I really like the Isle of Armor. I think that DLC is insanely good.
Isle of Armor's the best part of the game.
Isle of Armor is insanely well. The Counter storyline isn't that good. It's just catching legendaries. But like I like the fact that you're introduced to an old steel type gym leader who was part of the thing, which is so cool. They can like see like people who were before in the storyline, pre the character, which I think is so amazing.
Yeah.
And I also like the fact that Eternatus, like just the way Eternatus looks and the way that Eternatus is portrayed, it's just like, oh, it's just the feeling of just a bunch of just Dynamax energy just into a Pokemon. I think that's such a cool like concept for a Pokemon.
Yeah, like I agree, but I feel like it's a good story, but it's only the first draft of a good story.
I'm gonna have to disagree on that, man, because I feel like you're dissing the storyline a lot, but at the same time, it's like, again, even though it's not one of the best, not the best one that they've made so far, they've made some really good ones. Black and White and the entire Black White 2 was such a good storyline, for example. This one does, I feel, lack depth. And even though it lacks depth, you could still understand what they were trying to go for. For example, like me, I was just dissing the Hop storyline, yet it's the fact that he knows he's been pretty much his like older brother Shadow the entire time of his life.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I mean by first draft. Like I feel like they have good ideas, they just weren't.
It's not executed to the best extent it could have been.
Because like Hop's storyline could have been a lot more. He didn't even make it through the semi-finals in the league. Surely it would have been way more impactful if you beat him in the league.
Yeah, no, I agree, because even though you beat him before you even get to the top 16, which kind of shows like, oh, okay, so he wasn't even strong enough to even get to that stage.
Like, you have this really interesting story of like Opal and Bede, and it's just a joke. Like, but the thing is, in any other Pokemon game, they would have taken that seriously. Like, this new guy, this gym leader's taken in to force to become a gym leader to replace her. They take his Dynamax bracelet away, and he just has another one. And did she give it to him? If so, that's a huge story point, because the whole point of him losing the gym challenge is he couldn't Dynamax anymore. And now he just can again, and it wasn't even brushed on in the story. I just feel like it's such a good idea that they just didn't follow through. But then you look at the Cup-Through storyline, and it's great. Like, I have no complaints about the Cup-Through story at all. I think, if anything, the only complaint is it's too short.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then also talking about the wild area as well. I do think they could have added more into the wild area. Again, the fact that DLCs exist is such a good example of how it could have looked like. So, again, so I agree completely with you. It is certainly plain. It is just grass there. There's nothing else.
It did grow on me, though. Second time playing, it didn't grow.
Okay, that's not too bad. And what's your thoughts on, also, your thoughts on the routes? Actually, that's such a good point. The fact that you thought the routes were... I'm sorry.
They got better as they went through.
The routes were quite nice. Even though they are quite short, I feel like you don't need more than what the routes provided, because they should the size of how they are originally in normal games anyways.
I quite liked it because I was rushing through, so it was quite nice just to like bike through it and pretend I didn't see anything. But I have no reason to go back to any of them.
I mean, I have to go back to the desert one to do like to get like the fossil Pokemon, for example.
True. Again, like, they're not the worst thing in the world. I remember them being worse than they are.
Yeah.
And I do think the further you get in the game, the better they get.
Okay.
But I said like the first 3 or 4 routes in the game, I can't even remember what they look like.
Right, so this begs the question. If you were to rate it out of 10, what would you rate the game?
Without DLC, 6. With DLC, 7.5.
Okay. That's not too bad. With me, Pokemon Sword has been one of my favourite Pokemon games of all time.
Yes.
My favourite, probably top 3, definitely top 5.
This is what lack of taste looks like.
No, this is what taste, being seasoned actually is. Do you know what I'm saying? I love the storyline, even though it's, again, not that depth. I feel like it is a good storyline, and I feel it's a really good way to just like, it allows kids to enjoy it whilst also allowing adults to enjoy it. I love the Pokemon. I love the Galar region. I think it's a really nice region to look at. I think it's a really good region to play in. Genuinely, I think. And I think overall, I would give the game a good 8.5. A good 8.5 I'd give the game.
I guess 7.5 to 8.5, we're averaging an 8. So we'll put it as an 8 out of 10 on our list.
8 out of 10 game. Perfect.
Pretty good.
That is quite nice.
I think the game benefits from hindsight. Like, at the time, people were disappointed because of Dexit, because of the fact they wanted an open world Pokemon game before an open world game existed. And then we've actually experienced an open world game and it felt empty. So now when we go back, we're like, oh, this is better than the next one, so we can enjoy it more.
I arguably think it's the best Pokemon game they've added onto the Switch so far.
The ZA is way better.
The best Pokemon game added. I'm sorry, ZA, beautiful game.
You think ZA is worse than an 8?
It's a 7.5 for me. 7.5?
That's not what you were saying to me last month.
No, when I was playing it in the moment, it was a really good game. But I'm really looking back into it. Let's be real, the replayability is just not there.
It's not there in
ZA Warrior. Yes, it is. You can go into Sword, have completely different routes into wild areas, and have your fun and have completely different team the entire time. But so ZA, I'm sorry. What is that?
With ZA, you can do loads of it in any order you want.
Not really. Like you
get like the 5 different like megas. You can choose the order you do it in. You can explore different parts of the cities at your own pace. I think it's more open than Sword.
Yeah, so it's more of an open game than, again, you're stuck into a side of city. Whilst in Pokemon Sword, you can go to the wild areas.
In Pokemon Sword, all I want to do is get out of the city. Because there's nothing to do in them.
No,
I will pretty paintings you can't do anything in.
But then again, at least it's pretty. What's so pretty about ZA's windows,
Oh, they're such nice posters. The detail on those posters were brilliant.
I still think Sword... you know what? No, I think ZA probably does rival Sword in terms of Pokemon games.
And you haven't played Scarlet properly yet.
And I have not played Scarlet properly. So
it's better on Switch too.
That could be a potential game review for future.
Maybe.
But anyways, current games playing at the moment. Completely new section here. Escapist 2. Me and Kuro thought it was a good idea to play Escapist 2.
Yes, so...
And what's your thoughts on it so far?
I'll tell you what. Before I jump into my thoughts, there is currently a deal on the eShop to get the whole game and all of the DLCs for about 10 quid. Absolute steal.
Grab that.
Absolute steal. I really like it. I think there are some little bugs. I don't know if they're Switch exclusive bugs or they are game bugs, but there are some issues I'm noticing in terms of like just some things that should be obvious that aren't happening. But it's a really, really good game. And it is rage bait central.
Why do you say that?
I am sorry, but those CCTV cameras, like if I turn them off, I get back to the base to like sneak in someone's desk, and the officer's like, "Get out!" I'm like, "How did you know I was here?" And then I'm opening the desk, and they won't touch me. And they're like, "Oh yeah, please leave." I go outside, and there's a massive like helicopter beam or like from the watchtowers like guarding me. So the officer inside won't touch me, but you want to murder me. And I beat someone up to steal their job, and they still have their job. I'm like, did you not? How did you complete your job when you were in the infirmary when it was happening? Then sometimes they just let me take the job and I beat them up. So it's like, oh, but it's so fun. I actually think how broken it is makes it more fun.
I think it's a really good game, and it has probably one of the best replayabilities. Like, this is the second time playing it properly. All the maps and stuff, we haven't only done like half of them so far. But I think it's a really good game.
We haven't touched any of the DLC maps.
Yeah, we haven't touched those yet, so those will be some really good games.
The communist maps I want to do. Oh my god, that sounds so fun.
But yeah, so...
I tell you what, graphically it's really nice.
You think so?
I do.
That's one of the biggest complaints people had on when it won Game of the Year.
It reminds me of Stardew Valley.
A lot of people didn't like it, man. A lot of people thought it was way too pixelated. A lot of people thought that it wasn't that much of an upgrade from the original games.
But it's not meant to be. It's a continuation.
But a lot of people just hated on it, especially because of the fact that they thought it was just too cheap in a sense.
I'll tell you what the issue is. People think just because a game looks good makes it good. Some of my favourite games of all time are indie games. Stardew Valley, now Escapist 2. Like, you look at Hades, you look at Hollow Knight. These are games that aren't graphically that good. They're just average, but it's the gameplay that carries them. And I cannot, even this year, I'm sorry, Clear Obscure winning Game of the Year. It did not deserve it. I don't care.
It didn't.
I've played parts of the game. You can't even throw shade at me to say that I haven't touched it. You can tell they just replaced AI art. They've admitted it. Like, I know it's real artwork in the game now, but they've admitted they used AI artwork to fill in the gaps and then replaced it with real work in which the AI work was a reference. I'm sure other games do it. but it feels soulless. And the only thing carrying that game is the music. And people connect with the game. I understand people are like, oh, the story's really personal to me. I'd hope so if it's Game of the Year. That's a bare minimum. And you look at stuff like that, and you look at other Game of the Years. You know, you have some really great Game of the Years. You have Elden Ring, you have Breath of the Wild. They absolutely deserve Game of the Year. They are amazing industry, pushing games. Breath of the Wild showed what open world truly can be. Elden Ring showed what a Souls game in an open world space can be. And then you have Game of the Years like Astro Ball, and you're like, no, I love Astro Ball, but the only reason it's Game of the Year is because Nintendo didn't make it. It's no better than a Nintendo first-party action, platformer. Mario Odyssey is a better game, and it didn't win Game of the Year. Astro Ball only won because it was a Sony exclusive. It's a really good platformer, but you put that on a Switch, it gets overshadowed.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I'm going to have to agree on that, especially,
it's a great game, but
especially with how good of a platform we have nowadays, especially with games like Odyssey, which is generally one of my favourite games of all time.
I love Astro Ball, and it's a 10 out of 10 game. Absolutely brilliant game, but it's no better than Mario 3D World. And Mario 3D World is one of the lower end Mario 3D games. It's just great, and then you think, so how are games like that winning Game of the Year? And then people complain about Escapist. At least Escapist is has a deep story, has deep connections to character, and how do you describe it? It's not necessarily a deep story, that's the wrong word, but it has a deep personal lived-in world. Each character does stuff. Each character interacts. You can break interaction cycles. It's so much more immersive.
I think the thing that makes Escapist 2 such a good game is the fact that you can play the game however you want. You can escape the prison by digging down a shovel. You can escape the prison by doing a main quest. You can escape the prison by doing the secret endings on all the games, which usually it's you get a cutscene that you could only get from escaping a certain way. Yeah. You get interaction with every single prisoner and guard, completely different to all the rest. And it's just okay, so this guard has the key. You've beat him up twice, so he hates you now. And it's that could link back to, he hates you, so he'll follow you next time to be what are you plotting to? Which allows you to just steal his keycard easier. And it's there's so many different aspects of the game, the replayability. You can play every single one of the prisons 100 times. You can have 100 different results on how you escape.
And what caught me off guard with this game is, just because you found a key doesn't mean you can get the exit. You find the red key, you need to make a mold. Then you need to make the plastic key copy. Then you also need to find a way to hide that, and you only have a certain amount of uses, because every time you have the key, it goes into lockdown. So not only do you have to have the key, you have to quickly make a mold, and you have to quickly turn it into a thing, and you have to put the key somewhere else so they can't track you. And it's just so interesting. And not only that, when you have the key to unlock a door, it doesn't solve your problem. You find a new problem. When we were playing the other day, we got the red key, and we're we've won. We used the key, and there's another door.
Yeah. There's another door. Oh, wait, this place doesn't go to this exact place that we need. Oh, we've gone through the van.
For example, we spent 3 hours going, just exploring this prison map in, I think it's a Texan kind of place. And we didn't know how to get in the vents. And then we're oh, wait, we just stand on a desk and use the screwdriver. Why didn't we...
There's a lot of problem solving involved, which I think is such a good thing that a game allows you to have the creativity to just explore different parts of the map.
And sometimes a small game with a lot of creativity has many more gameplay hours than a game with a little amount of creativity. For example, I guarantee now, you average out a player's time on Minecraft versus Clear Obscure. Clear Obscure is 60 quid. Minecraft, 20 quid. Average time on Minecraft, over 1,000 hours.
Oh, how's that?
Clear Obscure, you get 50 hours and you're done. Not just in the game, I'm sure it's a great game. It won Game of the Year. But it's overhyped, and it was absolutely an industry plan. How is it an indie game when you have developers funding millions of pounds into the game? AAA developers like Ubisoft. The moment a AAA studio supports your game, you are not indie anymore.
100%, I agree on that statement. I definitely agree on that statement.
It baffles me that it's such an obvious industry plan because it's a good story for social media. And then people diss games like Escapist, and there are valid criticisms of the game. It is a bit glitchy. But how can you undermine a game like that and support another game which was not made with true love for gaming in mind?
Yeah.
The main developer of the game is a multi-millionaire who claims his game is indie when he injected $10 million of his own money into the game.
So it just shows you just how rigged the gaming community is at the moment. It's everything to do with it, really.
It's why I do appreciate Nintendo a lot. They do tend to stay out of the mainstream. They are the mainstream for kids.
Yeah.
But you don't get this story of, oh, it's indie, it's breaking through, or, oh, this series is doing something it shouldn't be doing. No, you know, like every time there's a new 3D Mario game, you know you get at least a 9 out of 10 game.
Yeah, 100%.
Every time there's a new Zelda game, you know it's at least a 9 out of 10 RPG.
Oh, 100%.
There's no controversy around the game, apart from pricing. You know you're getting a good game.
Yeah.
I think Pokemon's kind of lost that status at the moment.
Ooh.
Whether I agree with that, I think they're still good games, but they do definitely have lost a little bit of respect in the gaming community. And I also think it's just important to think. I think it's popular to be a hater at the moment with everything.
Yeah, it's true, especially with like right now, with like how the world is at the moment. I think it's very popular to just look at the negatives of things rather than the positives.
You look at Donkey Kong Bonanza. It came out a few months ago. It's arguably just as good as Mario Odyssey. It didn't get anywhere near as much coverage because it's popular to hate. And at the moment, it's popular to hate the Switch too. So people are ignoring all these great games coming out. Look at how Cyberpunk runs on it. Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, the new Zelda Hyrule Warriors game. You have the Pokemon ZA, which is 4K 60 on the Switch too. You have a new Kirby Air Riders game. You have a new Mario Tennis game coming out soon. Look at all these huge exclusive. Metroid Prime 4. People hate it because it's popular to hate. It's a good game. It just took too long to make. But we know the reasons why. So why do people complain about it when people still admit it's a good game? You look at the reviews. People are either saying it's a 10 or a 0. There's no in between.
Mm-hmm.
It's so polarising. I'm like, no sane person could play that game and think it's a 0. It's objectively a well-made game. Whether you enjoy it or not, it's different.
Yeah.
And I think you look at other games, and if Sony did the same thing, I'm sorry, but a Mario 3D platformer has just as much, if not more quality, than the best Sony games.
Yeah, no, I completely agree on that. I completely agree.
Complexity and story, absolutely not. Mario isn't a complex story game. But the amount of glitches you get in those games, the amount of... They all look the same. They all look like they're built in Unreal Engine as well.
Mm.
Maybe that's why Astro got one game of the year, because it was so different.
It's different to like, just the regular, just Unreal Engine, just slapped it, trying to make it realistic, and the story type of thing.
That's why people love Warzones for Call of Duty, because it's just slightly different to the base Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And they get the same game every year.
Yeah, no, that's true. And on the topic of, when it comes to hating on the Switch 2, people hate on the Switch 2 for no reason, even though it's like probably the best console at the moment to own. It's the best console, in my opinion, to own at the moment.
It's more powerful than a Series S with the upscaling. It's a tiny handheld with a 1080p HDR screen. It supports 4K, it supports 120 FPS, and a decent amount of games actually support the 120 FPS. Why do people think it's not powerful enough? How are you going to fit a PS5 Pro's graphics into a tiny tablet for half the price?
You can't. You've got to think that it's for the pricing and for the convenience and for just how suitable it is for just daily use compared to every other gaming console at the moment.
Of course I have my issues with it. Like, I wish the battery life was a little bit longer. I think, even though the Joy-Cons are way better than the Switch 1 Joy-Cons, I do miss having a D-pad. And I do think the control sticks are a little bit small. In handheld mode, it's perfect, but in TV mode, I can see why someone would want to switch to a Pro controller. I can see why somebody would look at a game like Cyberpunk and be like, I would rather 60 FPS on the TV over 40 FPS. Fair enough. But also, you can't get 40 FPS on a Steam Deck on Cyberpunk. It runs at 25. It comes up to 30, but you have to go like down into like the 480p graphics, 540p graphics. On the Switch 2, you're getting... I'm not sure what it runs in handheld, but it runs at... It's like around 1080, I believe. 1080-40, which I think is pretty good for a handheld. And I think, even like Elden Ring now, people are complaining it's 30 FPS on the Switch 2. Name a gaming console that can run the game at 60 consistently. I play it on the PS5, and I've watched the frame rate fluctuate between 30 and 45. The only time it even gets close to 60 is when you're staring at the floor. And the main point you want the frames is for infighting, in battles, and I would rather a consistent 30 over an inconsistent 30 to 40.
Yeah. Another thing too is that people don't realise that consoles are just alternatives, cheaper alternatives to PCs. I'm sorry, but if you are going to complain that this 400 pound console is running a game because it's running the game in a clean way, and you're going, oh no, it should be like a PC, it should be running in some crazy specs. It's not going to. And you gotta realize that how small the console is. I'm sorry, people underestimate how much they fit into that small console to allow it to run these games.
Imagine building a gaming PC the size of a Switch 2. I don't even know if it's possible.
You couldn't.
With a screen.
You generally couldn't.
And a battery.
People's GPUs are the size of the Switch 2. Do you know what I'm saying?
Fair enough, they're getting 120 FPS on Elden Ring. But they're also not bringing that thing around with them on an aeroplane, on a train.
And another thing too, to get those types of 120 FPS and stuff like that, you're spending so much money on just a GPU and CPU on its own to get the 120 on Elden Ring. You're spending more than a Switch 2.
Then you need a monitor.
Oh yeah.
Then you need a keyboard, and you need a mouse. Then you need the case, you need the fans, you need the internet, you need potentially Bluetooth. There's so much add-ons. You need a good motherboard. There's no point having a good GPU if your motherboard's rubbish.
And out of everything, you gotta realize that you can play the Switch 2 on handheld. Do you know what I'm saying? You can go anywhere with the Switch 2 and play Elden Ring. You can't do that with a PC. You can't do that with any other console as good as you can with a Switch 2. You generally can't.
Anyone in the comments hating on the Switch 2 saying, enjoy your 30 FPS gaming. I will, whilst I'm on the train. You enjoy sitting on your phone and playing League of Legends. I will enjoy Breath of the Wild at 1080p 60 FPS on my tablet.
Damn right. Anyways, I think that should be the wrap-up of today's podcast.
I think next time we will actually give our review on The Escapist 2.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way.
Introduce a new game to talk about.
Boom. Anyways, guys, this is Kuro and Mars Podcast.
Thank you very much for watching. Any suggestions, comments, or anything you want us to answer in the next video, drop them down below.
In the comments, guys.
Check out our TikTok and Instagram channels. They're all linked in the description or up here in the information desk. Anything else?
Any game recommendations? Probably for any game reviews like that, just leave it down in the comments, guys, okay?
Preferably, if you give me a game recommendation, make sure it runs at 4K 155 FPS.
Bro, 240, bro. 240,
That's
bro.
too much.
Ugh.
Too much storage.
Too much stuff. My bad.
Do you think my GPU can handle that? Honestly. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. See you next time.